It's Mind Moments Monday. And hi, everyone. I'm Cindy. I'm a certified self-expansion coach, and I am a retired special education teacher. And I help high-achieving women move from overwhelm to um, being able to give up that overthinking and that overwhelm for greater clarity and confidence and follow through. So, who wants to learn a little bit more about follow through? That piece that can make a big difference in the plans that you have. So, today we are talking about a challenge that most of us face at some point in our lives, maybe our whole life. We feel like this has been a challenge, that our plans don't stick. You make plans, you have lots of, lofty ideas and goals, and they just don't stick or they don't pan out. They don't come to fruition. And we're going to talk today about a few simple ways to change that. And when I say simple, I mean simple. Maybe not easy sometimes compared to what we're used to doing, but you'll see what I mean as we get to talking about it a little bit more. I'm coming to you from the campground here in Dillsboro, North Carolina. It's a beautiful day, but it is a little breezy, so you might hear our wind chimes or some background noise a little bit here and there. But hopefully that just adds to the ambiance. So I want to ask you a question. Have you ever made a decision that felt absolutely right in the moment? Oh, 100%. You were motivated, you felt real clear about it, and you were ready to take it on. And then a week later, a few weeks later, maybe a month later, life happened and that plan that you had set out, it started to fade. The habits that you were trying to start and get in place kind of disappeared. And the intention that you had at that moment just got buried under everything else. And if that's true, raise your hand, give me a thumbs up, or put number one in the comments. Yeah. Sometimes the best of intentions get buried under everything else. And I just want you to know that if that has happened to you, you're not lacking discipline. A lot of times we get so rough on ourselves because we're not disciplined. But most often, what we're really missing is structure. Some type of structure that can support the clarity that you already have. So think about that. Think about the plans that you have forgotten about that you had done, and then like I said, you forget about it over time. In the next few days, few weeks. Most often, what you're missing is a little bit of structure. That's it, just a little bit of structure that can support the clarity that you already have. So I want you to write this next thought down or maybe type it in the comments. Clarity without structure fades fast. Yeah, type that in the comments. FAST in capital letters. Because the best clarity that you can have, if you don't have structure for it to do its thing, it's going to fade. And I've seen it happen so many times. So I want you to think right now, what is one thing that you've wanted to be more consistent with lately? And I'll give you a few examples. Something you wanted to be more consistent with lately. Maybe it's your self-care, exercise, healthier eating, boundaries, business task of some type, prayer, reflection, meditation, rest. How about decluttering? We all seem to have something that needs to be decluttered. So I want you to think about that. And then I want you to take in three slow breaths right now, just three slow breaths. And just loosen up your shoulders, maybe stretch your neck a little bit. Just three short breaths, because we're talking about something that all of us deal with almost daily, and that is follow through. So some people are better at that than others. But if you're someone that is struggling a little bit with follow through, whether it's a personal decision, a financial decision, a business decision, I want you to ask yourself right now, what would feel different if in your life one important habit actually stuck for the next 30 days? Something that you've promised yourself and just haven't been able to follow through on. Maybe it's not buying anything on Amazon for 30 days. Maybe it's a quiet reflection time built into your morning routine. There's a lot of things that it could be that if they actually stuck for the next 30 days, things would feel massively different. And I'm serious. 30 days, day after day after day. How would that feel? You can type one word in the chat if you want to. How would that feel? So we're going to talk for just a minute on the real reason that plans don't stick. The real reason that most people don't follow through, at least immediately, because many people think that consistency is about motivation. So if you can keep yourself motivated, you're going to be consistent with it. But consistency isn't about motivation, not at all, because motivation comes and goes depending on a lot of other variables within and without. But structure remains, and structure is what helps us to follow through. So the challenge that most of us high achieving people rely on, it, the challenge is that most of us, all of us people that are high achieving, we rely on motivation. We rely on that get up and go instead of creating simple support systems for when things don't feel that motivating. So let's talk about three things that can really sabotage your ability to follow through. So number one, we try to change too much. So we create these giant plans and we get the plans are so big that we get defeated before we even get started, or we start for a few days and then we give up, or they're big plans and life gets busy and we don't feel like we don't have time to address it, so we drop it, we abandon it, and who knows how long it takes us to get back. to trying to do it again. So think about an area in your life where you've tried to change everything at once. Okay, what is it? What's something that you kind of deal with on a regular basis? Is it getting laundry done on a specific a day of the week? Is it organizing your craft space, your closet? Going out there and weeding out the garden beds so that you can have a pretty garden. What is it that you tend to put off again and again because it feels too big? So that's the first thing that can sabotage us is planning these great big goals. The second thing is we don't protect our priorities. Now that is a big one because we are high achieving people. We are used to helping everybody else deal with all their things and accomplish their goals and we take care of their business. And then we decide that, something that really mattered to us, we don't really give it a place, either on the calendar or in our hearts, because everything else is getting in the way. So if everything else is more important, then of course your priority doesn't get protected. It gets let go. And that is the way that we sabotage ourselves is because we don't protect our priority. And then the third one is we confuse clarity with completion. So when you have clarity, you clearly know what you want to do, what you need to do. It feels really amazing. But clarity alone is not going to clean up that craft room. It's not going to clean out the garage. It's not going to get that stack of paperwork done. It's not going to get those Etsy listings up for you or take all those Etsy pictures you need to take. Whatever it is, whatever it is that you mentioned a little bit ago, that is something that you really would like to get done, means a lot to you, it's top priority, and it just hasn't happened. Consistency and daily actions are what create the results. That sustainable success that you're looking for, not just having a clear plan. Mm-mm. It's those daily actions, those daily actions. So let's think about this in a more tangible way. So if you have a piece of paper, I'd like for you to draw three boxes on there. If you don't have a pen and paper right now, think about having three boxes sitting right there in front of you, whether you're in your recliner or you're at your desk or wherever you might be. You've got three boxes. In the first box, what is one thing that you keep saying, I want to do? What is it? Think about what that is, that one thing that you keep wishing you could get done, or that you'd at least just get started and work on it consistently a little bit here and there without getting overwhelmed. So put that in box number one, or just jot it down, whatever it is. Okay, and then box number two, the second box. What keeps getting in the way of getting that done? So some examples might be you just keep forgetting until the day gets away from you. You are overcommitted in other ways. Maybe it's your perfectionism. You're feeling, just kind of stressed because it's not 100% perfect, or you don't have as much time as you wanted to, or you're not sure how to go this way or that way. Perfectionism can really get in the way and put you on. on that hamster wheel of just not getting anything done, just staying busy, 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 and nothing gets accomplished. You lack the energy because it feels big and overwhelming and you just lack the energy. Or maybe because you don't really have a schedule for your day to day and things just keep sliding. Or maybe it's that you have too many priorities, too many things that need to get done, and you just don't know what to start. So in the second box, I want you to write down or drop in there in that second box what it is that keeps getting in the way of you getting your project done. So forgetting, overcommitment, too many priorities. What is it? You can type it in the chat too if you want to. I'd like to hear what's coming up for you. All of these things are just common trigger patterns. We talk about this in my Tranquil Solutions workbook. Trigger patterns that can interfere with our progress in a big way. And then the third box, box number 3. What is one tiny structure that could support you? So think about it. Would it help if you put it on the calendar so that it came up every single week or every single day, however you want to structure it out? Remember, you don't want to make it too big. If it's a big project, just schedule some time every week or every day to work on it. And set a reminder, like on your phone, just set a reminder so that it comes up. I don't know how many times I go live on Mondays for this Mind Moment Spotlight. But I'll tell you, many, many Mondays, if I didn't have an alarm set, I would forget about it. I would get busy doing something and I would forget about it. So I set reminders for everything because my brain has a lot going on inside of it. Right? Another thing you can do, I call this like an anchor moment or something, or stacking habits. You can attach whatever it is that you want to do with some sort of a routine that you already have, like morning coffee. So while you're drinking your morning coffee, maybe you can work on whatever this is that's been um, needing to get done and just hasn't gotten done. Another thing is to ask for accountability. And ask for accountability mm, is kind of easy to do. You can ask, you can certainly find people that will want to help you with accountability, but then you got to listen to it. You've got to say yes to it. That's it. That's it. You've got to set boundaries for yourself. And if it takes having someone else to bounce things off, then find someone that can do that for you. And one of the things I think is the best thing that you could put in that box, in the third box, a structure that could support you, is reducing the task size. So we could give so many different examples of reducing the task size. Think of what the big task is. If you've got some unfinished craft projects, doing one part of that project every day, just a piece of it, not feeling like you have to do the whole thing at once. Cleaning out the closet. So maybe you're going to start with one side of the closet and then go to the other side of the closet on the shelf. Or maybe you're going to tidy up the shoes and figure that out. Just reducing the task size. And when it comes to work projects, this is so important and so helpful so that we don't get behind on our responsibilities, is to do small pieces of it and then just over time it gets done. So let's take Etsy, for example, my Etsy shop. Um, take pictures first, get a whole bunch of pictures taken. And then the next day, work on doing the editing of the pictures, kind of fine tuning it. The next day, come up with a title and and a description for your listing. So there's ways that you can break it down. You can start things, put it in draft mode. That's what I do with Etsy. I put it in draft mode, and you can do the same thing with projects that need to get done around the house or at the office. You put it in draft mode and you work on it a little bit every day. It's that consistency that's really going to make a big difference. So I just want to leave you with a couple of questions. What stood out today in this chat about why things don't stick? The three ways that we can sabotage ourselves. And many of us do it every single day. So what stood out to you? You can type it in the comments. I'd love to read it. The next question, what structure are you missing? Hmm, what is that little thing that you can do that'll make difference over the long run? And then the final thing is, what anchor could support you this week? What's something that you could hold on to that would support you this coming week in meeting that obligation that you've set for yourself? Or maybe someone else has set for you and it needs to get done, and you're putting it off. You really don't need a bigger goal. You don't need to be more responsible. You just need a simpler system. Today's session was all about awareness and then structure. So hopefully you've identified one area where follow through has been difficult for you. And hopefully you've thought of some things that are getting in the way. You've taken this chat seriously, and you've kind of nailed it, or maybe you already knew what was getting in the way of getting there. So if you'd like some help turning that plan into something more personalized, then I have three options to share with you. The first one is to join me for a mini clarity kickstart session. It's only 20 minutes, doesn't cost a thing, and it's a focused conversation between the two of us where I help you identify your next steps and create a realistic action plan for whatever it is that you're wanting to get done. You're wanting to put in place some sort of a consistent, structured routine, maybe a daily method of operation. So that's the first one, a mini clarity kickstart session. I'll put the links down in the comments, and if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put them down in the description box. The second option is to join us tomorrow for the Clarity Challenge. So it's a clarity challenge that I offer to the people in my Essentials for Peace and Balance community. And we get together for 90 minutes once a month. And we share resources and tools to help you stay engaged with your own growth journey, whatever that looks like for you, whatever that needs to be. And we get together. Sometimes there's one person there, and we get to delve into what you're dealing with personally. And sometimes there's a few people there, and we talk about we talk about clarity, and we give you some resources that'll challenge you to get out there and get it done. And then the third one is self-expansion unlocked. And this is an option for those who are ready for lasting change through deeper ongoing support. It is my coaching program, which is 3 months. So it's 3 months of support, reflection, and accountability. And if that's something you're looking for, I'll definitely put the link so that you can have access to it. So as we close, I'd love for you to put one word in the chat that describes how you want to feel this week. We're on Monday, beginning of the week. Put down in the chat one word that you want to feel this week. What is it? Put it down there. I'd love to read it. Thank you for joining me, for listening, and we will touch base again next Monday. And for those of you who decide to register, we'll maybe even see each other tomorrow. We'll talk to you later.